Jacob was alone at the bus stop thinking about Sophie. The wait for the bus seemed really short, even though he had actually been sitting there for half an hour. He got into the bus, pushed open the window, and let the chilly breeze pat his face. He mulled over his situation. He had a fiancée that he didn't know much about, except that she was attractive and her heart was in the right place. Second, he was now a part of a dragon clan that he didn't know much about either, but he was to become a dragon soon enough. Lots of work, and not a whole lot of time to do it. It suddenly struck him that he had forgotten to ask Dracon about their clan, or anything about the cultivation techniques. He just met Sophie's parents as their son-in-law and spent some time with his future wife. Sophie's father seemed quite cold, but he did shoulder a lot of responsibility as a mortal and as a dragon king. It seemed normal for someone of his stature to have a tough exterior. Sophie's mother was a very kind and intelligent woman, and that's it. That's all he knew about them. Don't tell me that from now on I would have to go to their house for dinner every day, Jacob thought to himself as a lot of things about his new reality dawned on him. After thinking about his situation for a while, he got off the bus after 3 stops. He walked into the Fairview bookstore and carefully browsed the high school section and finally bought some textbooks and guidebooks such as English Test Bank and English Grammar. Walking out of the bookstore with a bundle of books in his hands after searching amongst the countless study guides on the shelves, Jacob was covered in sweat. He pitied the high school students who had to work so hard. As Jacob strutted back to the bus stop, he suddenly realized that the news about him being picked up by the limousine at noon in front of the dorm area would have reached every student by now. If he went back now, he wouldn't be able to get away from their endless questions. He was always trying to keep a low profile and didn't want to get too much attention from anyone in general. But recent events had made him one of the most popular boys in college. He immediately made the decision to go home instead and caught the first bus in sight. The bus ride was bumpy, but Jacob didn't care. He silently watched the twilight descending into night as he clutched hard at the study material in his hands. His thoughts were interrupted by a call on his cell phone. It was Sam. Jacob picked up the phone, and before he could say anything, Sam began yelling.
"Jacob, why aren't you back yet? Where the hell are you? It's getting late."
"I'm going home today, Sam. I'm tired." Jacob knew Sam would be waiting for him.
"Oh, tired, huh? Looks like our dude had a great time today."
Sam's voice went from concern to playful in seconds.
"What on earth was going on during the day? You left us all in shock, mystery man."
Nothing really. It was the relative from last time, asking me to have a meal at their home," Jacob answered casually.
"Are you kidding me? You get picked up in a limousine and the old man tells you that you need to meet your fiancée and you say nothing's going on? Come on, man, tell me more."
Sam kept insisting. He was clearly excited to know everything. He went on trying to convince Jacob to confide in him, but Jacob knew he couldn't talk to anyone about his new world. He sighed silently as Sam went on. "Nothing major is going on, Sam, I promise," Jacob said when Sam finally let him talk. "I am just a bit tired, so I'll spend the night at my home and I'll tell you everything on Sunday."
"Fine, we will wait for you to come back and continue our interrogation. We're not letting you off the hook so easily,"
Sam said as he hung up the phone. Jacob was actually speechless about what Sophie's family did today. He wished that he could keep their circle a secret, but on the other hand, the way they acted was so eye-catching that it drew so much attention. But who could ever imagine how different their identities really are? The biggest geniuses of the world often lie to conceal their mission, but by keeping such a low and mysterious profile, it may draw even more attention from others. Jacob continued to wonder long after Sam had hung up on him. Jacob wanted to stop thinking about his new dragon in-laws for a bit, so he checked his cell phone. He wasn't surprised to see Sam's dozen messages and proceeded to delete them. There were a few from his class president, Kathy, as well. He sighed as he deleted those, too. What was the point? He already has a fiancée. He laid his head against the window and took a nap. It was very late at night when he got home. His grandma was surprised to see him because he never came home at this hour. But she was happy with the surprise and gave Jacob a big hug. He felt so light and unburdened in her presence that he almost blurted out about Sophie. But he bit his tongue and decided to keep it a secret for now. After spending the weekend peacefully with his grandma, he planned to go back to the university on Sunday evening so he could avoid the crazy gossip that must be going around about him. The big pile of sacks his grandma sent for his friends couldn't keep Sam and his roommates off his back. On hearing that Jacob was back, even the guys from other dorms flooded over. "Hey man, you made such a big scene. Getting picked up by a limousine? I heard that even the rich boy Malcolm from the advanced class doesn't get such a treatment," said Henry, who had welcomed himself into Jacob's dorm. "We heard about the fiancé. We know everything. Don't try to hide anything from us," said another uninvited classmate. "Even the girls were talking about you. They were saying that your family's filthy rich. Tia, a senior who didn't know you even existed, was also talking about you too." "Don't tell me that you hired some people to put on a show in order to cause a sensation."
"Oh, that girl was cute. What was her name again?"
"Dude, you seemed quiet at the university, but you actually meet a lot of girls outside of campus, don't you?" They were beginning to take it too far. Jacob could only listen to them helplessly. All right. Stop making things up," Jacob finally spoke up. "Look, it was a practical joke set up by one of my old friends. The limousine freaked me out, too. I know it looked like a big scene, but it really wasn't. I'd tell you guys, wouldn't I?" Jacob heard the murmurs dying out and then said, "How about we all go out to eat? My treat." The guys were all disappointed because there was no gossip, but they all got excited about the treat. They all rushed out of the dorm building, dragging Jacob along. Although most of them had eaten dinner already, they couldn't resist the invitation for cheeseburgers at the diner close by. Jacob had no choice but to shell out some money to end the drama. After what seemed like a night of endless gluttony, Jacob was duly informed about the gossip that had happened after he had left in the limousine. They told him that not just Jacob's classmates, but the entire college was talking about him. They were taking guesses at who his fiancée could be. Bets were being placed in secrecy, and the rich kids caught wind of the news too. They were all set to rag Jacob, but he never showed up this weekend, so they couldn't. Jacob silently thanked his stars. Having dined and wined to satiety, the boys began to leave. Jacob was left with Sam and his two roommates. They were heading back to their dorm room, talking and laughing loudly and with their arms around each other's shoulders. The four of them stopped dead in their tracks as they ran into Vice Principal Liam and some other teachers of the university who were inspecting the dorms. Seeing the vice principal up close, the roommates who were laughing and singing songs became quiet. They were silently waiting for a scolding from him. To everyone's surprise, the vice principal smiled and waved at them, even though he saw that they were all drunk. Liam walked by them along with the other teachers, and the guys exchanged shocked looks with each other. "Did I just see the vice principal wave at us?" one of the roommates asked Sam, who seemed to have sobered up as soon as he saw the group of teachers. The other three simply stood there in shock, wondering about what had just happened. They thought that the vice principal would yell at them after knowing that they went out drinking, or would at least come up to them and ask which major and class they were from. But he just waved. "Strange things happen every year in this college, but they sure are stranger this year," said Sam, letting out a sigh of relief.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.